Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal Part 266 to 267 based on novel. So let's start. Two people walked out from the fake mountain before Wang Lin. It was a man and a woman. The man had the air of a celestial, and he was very handsome, and he smiled at Wang Lin. Behind him, the woman had a soft gaze, but there was also a hint of surprise. She apparently didn't expect Wang Lin to be able to arrive here. Seeing it was the celestial cloud cultivation couple, Wang Lin's expression was calm, but his heart was on guard. His cultivation hadn't recovered, and he was at his weakest state inside the celestial emperor cave. Any carelessness might get him killed. After he calmly took a step back next to a restriction, Wang Lin clasped his hands and said, "Greetings, Senior Celestial Cloud." As he spoke, he looked behind them and didn't see Ju Yi, causing his heart to sink. Little brother's knowledge of restrictions is really mysterious. It seems that I have really underestimated you. Wang Wei laughed. He didn't know much about Wang Lin, and Ju Yi had never said anything about Wang Lin. From Wang Wei's point of view, for Wang Lin to be able to break through the restrictions to get here, then Wang Lin's restrictions ability had to already be at a peak. As for Wang Lin's injuries, Wang Wei naturally saw through them. The celestial cloud cultivation couple was very strange to Wang Lin. When the celestial emperor cave opened, everyone should have been sucked into the bottle world. However, even after the bottle world collapsed, they didn't appear, yet they appeared here. Wang Lin was unwilling to speak too much with these two, and with Ju Yi not here, he had his own speculations. In addition, he was injured, so he retreated and said, "If you two seniors have nothing else, then Junior will take his leave." With that, Wang Lin immediately retreated. He was about to go around from the side to where the pills were stored. The smile on Wang Wei's smile remained, and he only slightly shook his head. It wasn't until Wang Lin disappeared into the restrictions that he said, "This little guy is very interesting." His cultivation couple, Hu Huan, also smiled. "This Wang Lin is very cautious. Originally, I wanted to talk to him more, but he was scared away by you." Wang Wei laughed. "He was not scared away by me, he just has another place to go. See how he smoothly stepped into that restriction without activating it. Either he has a very good understanding of the restrictions here, or his restriction ability has once again exceeded my expectations." Hu Huan looked at where Wang Lin disappeared to before she frowned slightly and softly said, "With his age, I'd rather believe he understands this place very well." Wang Wei smiled at Hu Huan and laughed. "Do you feel unjust that he is able to step through the restrictions here so easily? But I agree, he seems to understand his place very well, and that just makes this more interesting." "What unjust? Ah, you are still teasing me at this age." Ju Huan smiled. Her eyes were like the crescent moon, very beautiful. Wang Wei also smiled, and his expression was filled with wisdom as he said, "Before, we guessed that the sword spirit had a companion. If I'm not wrong, that sword spirit's companion should be him." Hu Huan was startled. After thinking carefully, she smiled. "If you say so, then it is. If that is really the case, then he isn't an enemy. Looking from where he came from, if he really understands this place well, he should be going to where the Celestial Emperor stores his pills. We'll go have a look. The sword spirit must be there as well. Those two must have some secrets between them." Wang Wei smiled and walked forward. Hu Huan looked at Wang Wei, and her eyes filled with tenderness. Hu Huan strongly believed in all of Wang Wei's calculations. She picked up her steps and walked next to Wang Wei. As Wang Lin retreated, he went through restriction after restriction. The restrictions on the 6th floor were far more complex, so Wang Lin's speed was affected. He could instantly pass some restrictions, but others required him to carefully calculate it before taking a step. After using 7 days of time, Wang Lin circled around this area and closed in on the pill storage location. According to the map, this was an alchemy room, and inside it was a transfer array to where the pills were stored. Looking at the alchemy room from far away, Wang Lin walked toward it. As he walked, his divine sense was spread out, but not too far, and he observed the surrounding restrictions. Based on the fluctuations of the surrounding restrictions, he would know if anyone was closing in. This alchemy room wasn't large, and there was a garden next to it, but it was filled with withered plants. As Wang Lin closed in and was just about to enter the garden, he stopped. Wang Lin stared at the alchemy room and vaguely felt that the restrictions here was a bit different from what was on the map. Along the way here, the map was very accurate for the first 5 floors, and the restrictions were only different in this spot. The only explanation was that someone had messed with the restrictions here. His expression became gloomy. Wang Lin looked around and his eyes lit up as he observed the restrictions. After a long time, he vaguely saw some clues, but those clues made him frown even harder. From what he could see, some restrictions had been added on top and caused the slight change. However, the restrictions added on later unexpectedly fused perfectly with the restrictions that were already there. Restrictions were very changing, and everyone casted restrictions differently. Due to their personality, experience, understanding of restrictions, and cultivation level, even if the same restriction was casted by 100 people, they would be completely different to people who understood them, even though they looked the same on the surface. As a result, this restriction that was changed was unimaginable and clearly subverted his understanding of restrictions. It unexpectedly fused so perfectly. From my understanding of restrictions and the annihilation restriction inheritance, it is impossible for the fusion to be so perfect when placing a restriction that forcibly changes another restriction. Even if it is possible, it has to be someone whose restriction ability has already reached a peak and is able to change some beginner's restriction. However, this is the 6th floor of the Celestial Emperor Cave, a place with restrictions that are rarely seen, so how could it have been changed so perfectly by someone? If there really is such a person, then all the restrictions inside this cave would be child's play for them and they could easily move through all 9 floors. Wang Lin gasped and was shocked by this idea. He was unwilling to believe it, and he carefully examined it once more. The fusion of restrictions here was something that couldn't even be described with the word perfect anymore. This was like the same person had perfected their own restriction at a later time. Could it be? A thought flashed through Wang Lin's mind and his eyes widened. Could it be that the person who placed all the restrictions in the Celestial Emperor Cave and the person who changed the restrictions here was the same person? Wang Lin gasped. This answer would explain everything, but it was simply too inconceivable. Wang Lin stared at the restrictions and vaguely felt like if his guess was correct, then he had found a big net. He just didn't know who had placed the net. The first thought that appeared in Wang Lin's mind was the Celestial Cloud cultivation couple. After pondering a bit, Wang Lin was unwilling to just give it up like this, as the pills were too important to him. Wang Lin stared at the restriction and began his own deductions. The restrictions here were extremely complex and were obviously here to prevent others from entering. Wang Lin simply sat down, and flashes of restrictions appeared in his eyes. He slapped his bag of holding and a compass appeared in his hand. He sat there for 3 days. After 3 days, Wang Lin's eyes slowly became bloodshot. The countless changes of the restrictions flashed through his head as he searched for the correct way to break it. On the 4th day, Wang Lin raised his head. He stood up and arrived before the alchemy room. He then walked 3 steps forward without any hesitation. Wang Lin revealed hesitation on the 5th step. According to his calculations, the 5th step was the most difficult to find the correct answer to. It seemed like no matter where he stepped, it was wrong. The 5th step, Wang Lin's eyes lit up, and after a long time, he smiled. There is no 5th step. When he stepped out, his 5th step landed in the void and he jumped, landing on the ground ahead. As a result, that was the 6th step. After landing, Wang Lin immediately observed his surroundings to make sure he triggered no restrictions and let out a sigh. Then he quickly moved through these restrictions and appeared outside the alchemy room. Just as he was about to enter, his expression changed and he suddenly retreated. Just as he retreated, the door opened and a ray of sword energy shot out. The sword energy closed in, but after seeing Wang Lin, a surprised sound came from the sword energy. Shortly after, the sword energy scattered, revealing a white figure. It was Ju Yi. Wang Lin stopped retreating after clearly seeing Ju Yi and placed down his seal. He didn't speak, he looked at the alchemy room first. The inside and outside were like 2 different worlds that divine sense couldn't penetrate. That would explain why Juyi didn't know Wang Lin had come and Wang Lin hadn't detected Juyi. I knew you would be able to arrive here. Looking at Wang Lin, Juyi revealed melancholy and a smile. There was also a hint of reminiscence. In Wang Lin's eyes, Juyi had changed a lot. What surprised him was an aura that was very similar to that of a pseudo-nirvana void treasure coming from Juyi. Wang Lin greets Senior. How could I dare forget the promise I made before? No matter how dangerous this place is, I'll bring Qing Shuang's body here. Seeing Juyi made Wang Lin emotional. Juyi was one of the few benefactors he had, and no matter what cultivation level Wang Lin reaches, he will always be respectful to Juyi. Juyi revealed a melancholy expression as he looked at Wang Lin, and he shook his head. There is no need to call me Senior when it's just us. If you don't mind, you can just call me Big Brother Ju. Juyi's eyes suddenly narrowed and he carefully looked at Wang Lin. Who injured you so seriously? Your origin soul is dim, and due to recovering too slowly, it's leading to more hidden dangers in the future. There was a chill in Juyi's expression. Wang Lin wryly smiled and simply explained the matter to Juyi. He didn't mention the source origin and only talked about the vermilion bird awakening. It wasn't that Wang Lin didn't trust Juyi, but the matter regarding source origin was simply too important. Master Void. Cold light flashed in Juyi's eyes, and there was a hint of guilt in his gaze toward Wang Lin. If it wasn't for bringing me Qing Shuang, he wouldn't have been in such a danger. Master Void, I'll remember that person. Juyi nodded and didn't ask more, but he engraved Master Void into his heart. Hurting Wang Lin, who had come to bring him Qing Shuang, was touching his bottom line. If there was a chance, given Juyi's personality, he would make Master Void pay a terrible price. You must have come for the pills here, although most of the pills have already been taken by the Celestial Cloud cultivation couple. The only ones remaining are those that are useful to spirit bodies. They didn't take them because their storage method is very complex. As Juyi spoke, he suddenly changed topic and said, "But don't worry, I'll find way to get you those pills." After Juyi finished speaking, he turned into a ray of sword energy and charged out of the restrictions of the alchemy room. He appeared in the air and clasped his hands. Senior's Celestial Cloud couple, this person is my old friend. Please gift me some pills. A chuckle came from the distance. There was a flash from the nearby purple forest and Wang Wei and Hu Huan walked out. The two of them walked slowly, but strangely, it only took them 3 steps to reach the alchemy room. Wang Wei waved his hand, causing the restrictions outside the alchemy room to disappear as if they never existed. This made Wang Lin's pupils violently shrink. I had already guessed that little brother Wang had some relation with this sword spirit. It seems I guessed correctly. Wang Wei joked as his right hand reached out and a crack immediately appeared before him. 6 purple jade bottles flew out into his palm. These 6 bottles of rank 5 celestial gathering pills might be useful to you. With that, Wang Wei waved his right hand and the 6 bottles of pills flew toward Wang Lin. Dense celestial spiritual energy came from the 6 purple jade bottles, and the smell inside them was extremely refreshing. Wang Lin held the 6 bottles and scanned them with his divine sense. He didn't immediately consume them, but put them away inside his bag. Hu Huan carefully looked at Wang Lin and suddenly said, "You are the inheritor of the annihilation restriction?" Wang Lin was calm as he looked at Hu Huan and calmly said, "I'm not the inheritor, I just know some of it." When Juyi saw Wang Wei only give 6 bottles of celestial gathering pills to Wang Lin, he couldn't help but frown. After pondering a bit, he looked at Wang Wei and said, "Senior Wang Wei, not only is this person my old friend, but he is also my benefactor. There was something I didn't say before, but I was sealed here and he saved me. If not for him, I wouldn't have had the chance to meet Senior." Wang Wei meaningfully looked at Juyi before his right hand reached toward the crack once more. This time, 5 colored jade bottles flew out. He threw them at Wang Lin. These pills are known as the Heaven Avoidance Pills. They are rank 4 celestial pills, and taking them will greatly reduce your injuries. Wang Lin took the bottles and scanned them with his divine sense. The celestial spiritual energy inside these bottles was monstrous, far more than the 6 bottle of celestial gathering pills he got earlier. Juyi frowned once more, apparently still somewhat dissatisfied, and no longer clasped his hands. Since Senior knows about the Rain Celestial Sword Spirit, then I presume you also know about Rain Celestial Lord Qing Shuang. Wang Wei's eyes suddenly narrowed. He didn't ask but took out 3 more bottles from the crack. He didn't introduce them and directly threw them at Wang Lin. Wang Lin caught them, and after he scanned them, his expression changed. The celestial spiritual energy inside these 3 bottles was even stronger than the 5-colored bottles. These were obviously better. Junior once became infatuated with a female corpse in the Rain Celestial realm. I built a celestial jade pagoda to store the corpse to prevent it from rotting and to allow it to exist forever. Ju Yi's eyes were filled with nostalgia as he recalled the past. Later I found out that she wasn't Ting but Celestial Lord Qing Shuang. Wang Wei's expression changed. He had worried that he would destroy the spirit if he used Soul Search, so he had held back asking. However, now that he heard the story, a wave was set off in his heart. Hu Huan revealed a trace of excitement in her eyes. The 2 of them looked at each other before Wang Wei reached at the crack once more. This time, dozens of colored bottles flew toward Wang Lin. Staring at Ju Yi, Wang Wei said, "Continue with your story." Wang Lin's expression became strange. He finally understood what Ju Yi meant when he said he would find a way to get the pills. The last time I took Ting to the Rain Celestial Realm was when I met Wang Lin. The reminiscence in Ju Yi's eyes became even stronger. He seemed completely immersed in the beautiful and memorable memories, and his face revealed a melancholy smile. As he spoke, everything that happened in the Rain Celestial Realm was brought up. As Wang Lin listened, he was also reminded of what happened. 1. Wang Wei and Hu Huan were brought back to these realistic memories. When they heard someone wanted to steal Qing Shuang, a trace of killing intent appeared on Hu Huan's gentle expression and Wang Wei's eyes turned cold, releasing a powerful pressure. Ju Yi muttered, "I was willing to burn everything for her. I have no regrets." Even now, Ju Yi didn't regret what he had done. After hearing that Ju Yi had burned his soul to reach the ascendant stage and regain his sanity in order to protect Qing Shuang's body but still didn't regret it, there was a hint of compassion in Hu Huan's gaze toward Ju Yi. What a terrible fate. Wang Wei let out a sigh. With his cultivation level and experience, he could naturally tell if what Ju Yi said was the truth or a lie. A remnant soul had formed inside Qing Shuang due to his thousands of years of obsession, and she awakened. She revived Ju Yi, who was on the verge of death, and made him the new Rain Celestial Sword Spirit. After hearing the story from Ju Yi's mouth, Wang Wei and Hu Huan silently pondered. After a long time, Wang Wei let out a sigh and clasped his hands at Ju Yi. "I'll remember Brother Ju's kindness to Qing Shuang. If I've done anything to offend Brother Ju, please don't take offense." Hu Huan's expression was filled with pain as she looked at Ju Yi and said, "We will not forget Brother Ju's grace." The 2 of them could easily see if it was the truth or a lie. Adding to what they had speculated before, how could they not believe Ju Yi's words? Also, Ju Yi's identity as the Rain Celestial Sword explained everything. "I presume that little brother Wang Lin is here to bring Qing Shuang's body." Wang Wei looked at Wang Lin and couldn't help but reveal a look of admiration. Thinking back, he didn't pay much attention to Wang Lin, but he didn't expect Wang Lin to be such a righteous person. At this moment, it seemed the matter had been cleared up, but Wang Lin didn't immediately take out Qing Shuang's body. Instead, he retreated a few steps, looked at Wang Wei and Hu Huan, and said, "What exactly are seniors' identities?" Wang Wei admired Wang Lin even more for his caution. The amount of caution Wang Lin showed meant that he truly cared about his promise to Ju Yi. "Forget it. I haven't told anyone my identity to anyone for a long time. Since you and Ju Yi have helped us and also Celestial Emperor Qing Lin greatly, I can't keep it a secret from you too." Wang Wei let out a sigh as he looked toward the center of the 6th floor. There was a hint of melancholy on his face. "I'm the #1 guard under Celestial Emperor Qing Lin and at the same time, I was also his 2nd disciple." As Wang Wei spoke of his identity, an indescribable aura spread out from his body. This aura contained a heaven-shaking arrogance. In an instant, Wang Lin could feel Wang Wei's fame in the celestial realm. Hu Huan softly said, "I'm teacher's 7th disciple, and I grew up together with little sister Qing Shuang. When the celestial realm collapsed due to the calamity, we were lucky and happened to be outside, thus avoiding the calamity. After learning that teacher hadn't died but was seriously injured and had gone into hiding, we searched countless caves over the years. Finally, we were able to determine that teacher was in the celestial spirit heaven realm. Wang Lin's mind was startled, and he began to silently ponder. Hu Huan looked at Wang Lin and waved her hand at the restriction to the right. The restriction immediately changed and became even stronger than before. You should have seen the difference in the restrictions around the alchemy room. With your restriction cultivation, you should have had a guess. After the celestial cave was opened by teacher, all of the buildings and restrictions here were set up by me at teacher's command. Only I can add perfectly onto the restrictions here. Hu Huan's voice wasn't loud, but when it landed in Wang Lin's ears, it was like roaring thunder. Wang Lin gasped and wryly smiled. So it really was you. I thought it was Senior Wang Wei. Wang Wei shook his head and laughed. My restriction cultivation is weaker than hers, or else I wouldn't have lost the bet regarding your restriction back then. Wang Lin slapped his bag of holding and was about to take the celestial pagoda out. However, at this moment, Wang Lin's expression changed and he suddenly looked into the distance. A sharp laugh echoed across the 6th floor at this moment. 1. The arc regarding this start at chapter 308. The moment the sharp laugh was heard, Wang Lin saw a bald person that seemed to be walking in the void and quickly came here. Bei Lu. Wang Lin's eyes lit up. What a good disciple of Qing Lin to actually trap this demon inside a restriction. Bei Lu took a few steps and noticed Wang Lin. He revealed a look of surprise. You were able to get here. Bei Lu's eyes revealed a strange glow. There was a flash of coldness in Wang Wei's eyes. He let out a cold snort and took a step forward. His right hand formed a seal and curtain of rain immediately appeared and shot toward Bei Lu. Hu Huan stepped into the restriction on the side and bit the tip of her right finger. Then she quickly drew a strange rune in the air. After the rune appeared, it gave off waves of ghostly light. Just at this moment, all the restrictions in the 6th floor of the Celestial Emperor Cave seemed to become alive and unexpectedly lit up at the same time, as if they were all triggered at once. They came from all directions and flew directly at ancient demon Bei Lu. The sky was filled with restrictions, and as Hu Huan pointed, all of these restrictions gathered. Ancient demon Bei Lu pressed his hands to the side, causing a powerful surge of demonic energy to appear, and formed a vortex of demonic energy. This demon doesn't want to fight with you too. The two of you want to save Qing Lin, and I'm after that ancient devil, Ta Jia. Although our goals are different, we can still work together. I fear just you two aren't strong enough to open the seal Ta Jia placed. With me, the chances of breaking it will be greater. Bei Lu was inside the vortex, and the demonic energy swirled around him. His voice was distorted by the vortex, and when it landed in one's ears, it would make them tremble. Wang Lin was already injured, so his face immediately turned pale. He took out several pills and threw it into his mouth. He had no time to digest them before he cycled the origin energy inside his body. How is my proposal? If we continue to fight, you won't be able to save the Celestial Emperor and I won't be able to kill Ta Jia. In the end, we will only make it easier for him. Bei Lu's voice was filled with demonic intent. The reason Bei Lu was saying this was because he really dreaded Wang Wei and Hu Huan when they worked together, and Hu Huan controlled all the restrictions here. When Bei Lu left the celestial burial pool, he had already encountered them on the 4th floor. They went through a very vicious battle, but in the end, neither side could kill the other. However, because of Hu Huan, Bei Lu was trapped for several months. He came here not to continue fighting, but to work together. Hu Huan's eyes lit up and she looked at Wang Wei. As Wang Wei stared at Bei Lu, the coldness in his eyes slowly disappeared. He waved his hand, causing the water curtain to disappear before he calmly said, "Okay." Bei Lu relaxed a bit in his heart and landed on the ground, but kept within certain distance from the couple. His gaze fell on Wang Lin and he laughed. "Little brother Wang, your cultivation level has unexpectedly improved again. However, if you don't heal that injury soon, it will affect your cultivation in the future. Forget it, this demon was only able to come here because of you. I don't think anyone else would have let me in. Although I have medicine to help you, your injuries must have been caused by someone. Tell me his name and I'll kill him for you to repay your grace. Wang Lin's expression was cold. With his intelligence, how could he not see the provocation and temptation in Bei Lu's words? Bei Lu was obviously very surprised Wang Lin was able to get there and didn't know what his relationship with the celestial cloud couple was. Wang Lin revealed a faint smile as he clasped his hands and said, "Many thanks, Lord Ancient Demon. If the person who hurt me appears, I'll tell you. Please don't back out on your promise then." Bei Lu's eyes lit up and he laughed. He didn't mention this again. It was naturally inconvenient to take out Qing Shuang's body now. Wang Wei took out a pill wrapped in green wax. There was a trace of reminiscence in his eyes as he handed it to Wang Lin. "This is a green pill teacher gave me. Whether you cultivate celestial spiritual energy or origin energy, as long as it is an energy of this world, all injuries can be instantly healed after taking this pill. I don't have much of this pill left. You may choose to take it now or save it for later." As Wang Wei spoke, he coldly looked at Bei Lu. It wasn't merely that he didn't have much left, he only had 3 total. 1 was with Hu Huan and 2 with him. The moment Bei Lu saw the green wax, greed filled his eyes as he was far too familiar with it. When he and ancient devil Ta Jiao Sneak attacked Qing Lin, even with Qing Lin's severe injuries, the pill still had some effect. It allowed Qing Lin to put up a lot of resistance and was ultimately why the ancient demon had failed. Gifting this pill means they share a very close relationship with Wang Lin. This also means they still have some more left. Although I don't know if this is true, if a real fight starts, it will be troublesome. Bei Lu's gaze withdrew from the pill. Holding the pill, Wang Lin didn't immediately take it but put it in his bag. They moved toward the dark fog at the center of the 6th floor under Hu Huan's guidance. Ju Yi still floated beside Wang Lin. Wang Lin was very weak and needed someone to guard him, so Ju Yi would naturally not leave. Soon, the dark fog appeared before them. Bei Lu looked at the black fog with hatred in his eyes. If it wasn't for the fact that he had failed, then ancient devil Ta Jie couldn't have seized that opportunity. However, this isn't a bad thing. How could Qing Lin be that easy to deal with? Ta Jiao mustn't have succeeded, or he would have long left this place. After stepping into the palace, Wang Lin immediately saw a stone tablet on the ground. This tablet was around 20 feet tall, and the only thing on it was a hand print. Wang Wei looked at Bei Lu and said, "The last 3 floors are teachers' private chambers. I don't know if there are any changes to those places. In order to have a better chance, we should wait for more people to arrive. Wang Lin, spend some time healing so you have the power to protect yourself." Wang Lin's eyes narrowed. He still wasn't able to see through the celestial cloud couple. They weren't anxious to enter and actually wanted to wait for others to arrive. There was also ancient demon Bei Lu. He didn't question it at all, as if he had the same idea. "Don't think so much and focus on healing. I have already seen that those 2 are strange, but they won't harm us." Ju Yi was beside Wang Lin, and he sent Wang Lin a message through a special method only sword spirits could use. Wang Lin lowered his head and his eyes lit up. He sat down but didn't take out the green pill. Instead, he took out the other pills and devoured them one by one after checking them out. He then closed his eyes and focused on healing. Although he was healing, he didn't seal his divine sense. Although it would affect his healing speed, he had to stay vigilant here. Time slowly passed, and in the blink of an eye, 7 days went by. During this time, Wang Wei and Hu Huan were sitting down as if they were cultivating. Ancient demon Bei Lu was the same. Wang Lin let out a mouthful of foul air. His injuries had recovered slightly, but the hidden dangers were still there. Luckily, there were enough pills to fully recover. Wang Lin took out more pills and devoured them after checking them out. However, his divine sense was still spread out and locked onto the entrance. He was waiting for Master Void to arrive. He believed that Master Void's group of 3 would be the first group to arrive. Time seemed to last forever in the hall, and it was easy for people to forget the passage of time. Wang Lin's injuries slowly recovered due to the large amount of pills. Today was the 27th day since everyone started waiting in the hall. It was about noon when Wang Wei and Hu Huan both opened their eyes and looked at the door. Ancient demon Bei Lu was one step faster than them in looking at the door. Fluctuations came from Wang Lin's divine sense. When his eyes opened, they revealed a mysterious light as he looked at the door. A person slowly walked into the hall. This person was a woman surrounded by snowflakes. The snowflakes danced around her and looked extremely gorgeous. It's her. Wang Lin withdrew his gaze. The first person to arrive wasn't Master Void's group of 3, but the girl in pink who was suspected of being the brilliant Void Saintess. Her expression was calm. Her beautiful eyes swept across the hall and especially looked at Wang Lin. She didn't speak but found a corner and sat down. Less than 7 minutes after the girl sat down, Wang Lin felt fluctuations outside the hall once more. He looked up and saw 3 figures entering the hall. Master Void, the beautiful woman, and the man in black. The moment the 3 of them entered the hall, they attracted everyone's attention. Master Void immediately noticed Wang Lin, and a monstrous killing intent flashed through his eyes. The moment he saw Wang Lin was also when Wang Lin saw him. Wang Lin's eyes turned cold and he calmly said, "Lord Ancient Demon, he is the person who injured me." The moment Wang Lin spoke, Wang Wei and Hu Huan all turned to stare at Master Void. Even Ancient Demon Bei Lu looked at Master Void with a smile that wasn't a smile. Killing intent flashed across Ju Yi's eyes as he floated forward, approaching Master Void. The sudden scene caused Master Void to suck in a breath of cold air, cold sweat covered his forehead, and his heart pounded even faster. He didn't know what Wang Lin had done in these short few months to make these people help him. The celestial cloud couple and the strange bald man made him feel like he would have to be cautious even during his peak. However, right now he was seriously injured and half of his origin soul was missing. His cultivation level had fallen from peak Nirvana Shatterer to mid-stage Nirvana Shatterer. He didn't dare to move at all or retreat. He was locked on to by everyone inside the hall. It was likely any movement from him would make everyone else here attack him. "I'm the Cultivation Alliance's elder, Master Void. Junior brother of head elder Master Zhongxian. What is the meaning of this?" Master Void forced himself to calm down and even brought out the Cultivation Alliance. Cultivation Alliance. Wang Wei coldly looked at Master Void and shook his head. What a high status. Hu Huan smiled and casually looked at Master Void. She and her husband had never considered the Cultivation Alliance much. It wasn't that Master Zhongxian or the Alliance were weak, but they had their own pride in their status. Especially Wang Wei, whose pride was known by everyone in the celestial realm back then. However, after countless years of change, Wang Wei's personality had been suppressed and wasn't so easily revealed. However, the pride in his bones wasn't something time could erase. Wang Wei and Hu Huan were disciples of the strongest person in the celestial realm, Celestial Emperor Qinglin. They were famous when the celestial realm was still around and the Cultivation Alliance didn't even exist. They were still just a bunch of lower realm Qi cultivators back then. Even ancient demon Bei Lu grinned, and his eyes filled with mockery. As an ancient demon, he naturally held disdain for this Cultivation Alliance that was a new organization. He was already famous in the outside realm when the sealed realm still belonged to the celestial realm. In addition, although he had been trapped in the demon spirit land for all these years, he had learned a lot about the Cultivation Alliance through the cultivators that came here. In fact, he knew a lot more details than most people. Your senior brother, Master Zhongxian, was already a famous person before the celestial realm collapsed and was considered one of the strongest Qi cultivators. When the celestial realm collapsed, he was among the first people, along with the 4 divine sects Azure Dragon Divine Emperor, that risked their lives to rob the celestial realm. In the end, he used some unknown method to obtain most of the inheritances of the reigned celestial realm, and only then was the Cultivation Alliance established. I, Bei Lu, actually admire such a person, but you, Bei Lu shook his head, and his eyes filled with mockery. Master Void's expression was gloomy. Their gazes made him very angry, but he suppressed that anger. He pointed at Wang Lin and said, "I have a personal vendetta with this junior. Since you fellow cultivators came forward, I'll hold off on this matter. I promise to not find any trouble with this junior while we are in this cave. I presume you fellow cultivators are here to work together to enter the next floor. Why ruin the mood? If it impacts our chances at the next floor, it's not worth it. Hundreds of thoughts flashed through Master Void's mind as he spoke. His words were very clever. First, he pretended to be weak and did not cause any trouble for Wang Lin. Then pointed out that it was not good for the overall situation for them to start fighting now. To force someone with his cultivation level and status to say something like this was the most humiliating thing one could experience. All his anger was focused on Wang Lin, and although his killing intent was hidden, it was even stronger than before. The man in black next to Master Void walked out and sat down. It was obvious he was showing he wasn't going to participate in this matter. Only the beautiful woman stood next to Master Void with a pale expression. Wang Wei's cold gaze withdrew from Master Void. Although killing this Master Void wouldn't be difficult, it would still be troublesome as this person was still a Nirvana Shatterer cultivator. Although he was seriously injured, as Master Zhongxian's junior brother, he should still possess some spells and treasures. Right now, saving his teacher was Wang Wei's priority. There was no need to rush killing this person to get revenge for Wang Lin. Seeing that this matter was going to calmly pass, Master Void relaxed in his heart. However, just at this moment, Wang Lin stood up. Master Void's pupils suddenly shrank as he stared at Wang Lin. The moment he looked at Wang Lin, Juyi immediately released a powerful cold aura. He turned into a ray of sword energy and shot directly at Master Void. The moment Juyi stepped out, Wang Lin stepped out too. His hand formed a seal and flames appeared in his eyes. Fire came out from his right arm and quickly formed a vermilion bird before him. This vermilion bird let out a cry as it charged at Master Void along with Juyi. You're courting death. Killing intent appeared in Master Void's eyes as he waved his right hand. A yellow vortex appeared out of thin air and swept forward. Wang Wei originally didn't want to attack right now, but seeing Wang Lin and Juyi attack, he couldn't just do nothing. Juyi couldn't die, and Wang Lin had brought Qing Shuang here, so he couldn't die either. After letting out a sigh, Wang Wei pointed forward and a curtain of water appeared. It released a 5-colored light and immediately charged forward. It was so fast that it immediately reached the yellow vortex Master Void had created. Wang Wei calmly said, "Seal." The moment he spoke, the 5-colored curtain of water turned into water vapor and spread out around the yellow vortex before it quickly contracted. There were popping sounds as the water vapor fused with the yellow vortex. The vortex immediately seemed to stop rotating and suddenly collapsed. It turned into countless pieces of dirt that scattered in all directions. Master Void's schemes were completely destroyed by Wang Lin's attack. Wang Lin's daring and cunning shocked Master Void. Such a decisive act was something Master Void knew he couldn't have done at Wang Lin's age. Even out of all the juniors he had met, there were few like Wang Lin. The collapse of the yellow vortex allowed the vermilion bird formed by Wang Lin's spell to charge through. As it rushed out, it released a monstrous flame that contained extreme heat, and it shot toward Master Void. Unless he took out that iron sword again, Master Void wouldn't care about Wang Lin's attack. What he cared about was Wang Wei, Hu Huan, and Bei Lu. Facing Wang Lin's attack, Master Void slapped his bag and a small bag appeared. He slapped that bag and purple ashes flew out of it. The moment these purple ashes appeared, they turned into a mire and gave off a rotten smell. The smell shot toward Wang Lin and Juyi. Bei Lu smiled and quickly stepped forward. With just one step, he appeared on the mire and mercilessly inhaled. There was a whistling sound as the mire was sucked into Bei Lu's mouth. Bei Lu's eyes were filled with greed and he licked his lips. He then appeared near Master Void and his hand reached out. Master Void's expression changed greatly, and he retreated without hesitation. His hand formed a seal and repeatedly clapped down, causing a thunderous rumble to echo across the hall. At this moment, the vermilion bird formed by Wang Lin's spell closed in and brought with it intense heat. Master Void let out a roar, then his origin soul appeared around his body and pointed at Wang Lin's vermilion bird. He used his powerful cultivation to cause the vermilion bird to shatter into pieces with a point of his finger. Master Void didn't stop moving. He stepped to the side as he tried to shake off Bei Lu. However, Bei-Lu was even faster and kept chasing after Master Void. Popping sounds echoed in the hall, and after every pop, Master Void's face would become a bit paler. While Bei-Lu chased, demonic energy erupted from his body. He only needed to raise his hand and spells would appear without any seals. There were so many different spells that it was enough to blind someone from the light. Master Void had no chance to fight back and could only retreat while passively resisting. What gave Master Void a headache was that the collapsed vermilion bird had unexpectedly reformed. It gave off an even stronger flame than before and charged at Master Void. No matter how many times Master Void destroyed the vermilion bird while being chased by Bei-Lu, it would reform from the flames. It was as if this vermilion bird really had an undying soul. Ju-Yi turned into a ray of sword light and followed closely. He wouldn't causally go near Master Void, but the moment he found an opportunity, he would charge in. The beautiful woman's eyes revealed a hint of hesitation and she was about to help when Wang Lin suddenly looked at her with a cold gaze. This immediately made her think of Wang Lin's words before he left the first floor and the terrifying power of the iron sword. Her foot that had lifted and was forcibly stopped by her. She subconsciously avoided Wang Lin's eyes and the idea of helping Master Void quickly extinguished. Master Void's face became even more pale. If this was it, it wouldn't have been too bad, but what made Master Void anxious was that Wang Wei had unexpectedly stood up. He charged in and went on a pincer attack with Bei-Lu, completely sealing in Master Void. Seeing that Wang Wei was about to attack, Master Void became anxious and roared, "If you fellow cultivators don't participate in this matter, I will give up on taking anything from this Celestial Emperor cave and will help you break through the restrictions in here." Wang Wei's eyes narrowed, and even Bei-Lu's eyes narrowed and his feet paused for a moment. Just at this moment, another fluctuation came from outside the hall. Someone else had arrived. The All-Seer slowly entered with Ling Tianhu, and the old man on the gourd was behind him. After seeing what was going on inside the hall, Ling Tianhu was startled. The All-Seer revealed a gaze that made it seem as if he had foreseen everything. He revealed a smile that was not a smile and looked at Master Void. "All-Seer, help me." Master Void quickly retreated. However, just at this moment, Wang Lin's right hand formed a seal and the vermilion bird condensed once more. He didn't target Master Void directly, but it suddenly collapsed into a sea of flames next to Master Void. Just at this instant, the sword light formed by Ju-Yi released a fierce energy he had never released before along with a trace of the aura of a pseudo-nirvana void treasure. He charged directly at Master Void, who was inside the sea of flames. Part 267. Master Void suddenly turned around, and his hand moved to form a seal to use a spell. However, at this moment, the All-Seer's mouth moved slightly and Master Void immediately stopped. It was as if an invisible force had suddenly interrupted his spell. Master Void's expression changed greatly, and at this moment, Ju-Yi pierced through the flames toward Master Void. He was so fast that he landed on Master Void's chest in an instant. A thunder rumble echoed across the hall and he coughed out blood. He then staggered a few steps backwards. Crackling sounds came from the floor as the ground he stepped turned to powder. The sword energy dissipated and turned back into Ju-Yi. His face was pale and his body was transparent as a large amount of spiritual energy had left his body. He looked as if he could disappear at any time. It seemed that although this attack had done damage to Master Void, Ju-Yi was also hurt in the process. Ju-Yi retreated next to Wang Wei and Hu Huan. He sent a message to Wang Lin. "Wang Lin, my sword energy wasn't enough to kill him, but I caused his previous injuries to erupt and made them worse." With that, Ju-Yi sat down and quickly began to heal himself. He unexpectedly took out pills from somewhere and devoured them. These pills were specially made for spirit bodies. They weren't made to look like pills and instead looked like flowing spiritual energy. Master Void's face was deathly pale. He had already been seriously injured and had suppressed his injuries along the way so they wouldn't worsen. However, thanks to Ju-Yi's desperate blow, his injuries erupted once more, causing his cultivation level to fall once more. Although he wasn't down to the early stage of Nirvana Shatterer yet, if his injuries worsened, he wouldn't be far off. This was the first time he had felt a chill in his heart, and he retreated a few more steps. His right hand formed a seal and quickly pointed at his body, allowing him to barely stabilize. However, this action caused him to cough out more blood. He had a ferocious expression, but he wasn't looking at Wang Lin or Ju Yi. Instead, he was locked onto the All-Seer. The All-Seer's expression remained neutral as Master Void's gaze made him feel no discomfort, and he calmly said, "Fellow cultivator Master Void, I would only dare to help you if you were brought down to such a state." With that, the All-Seer looked at Wang Wei and Hu Huan and smiled. "I hope the celestial cloud couple will give this old man face. How about we forget all personal grievances today and focus on getting to the next floor?" Ling Tianho's expression became gloomy. How could he not see that the All-Seer had secretly made a move? He silently moved next to Master Void and coldly looked at Wang Lin and company. There was also that old man on the gourd who had an indifferent expression as he looked at everyone. However, where he stood clearly showed that he would stand on the All-Seer and Master Void's side. At the same time, the girl who was suspected to be the brilliant Void Saintess stood up and went to Master Void. Her beautiful gaze swept by before landing on Wang Lin, and she softly said, "Fellow cultivator Wang, let's stop this matter today. Once you leave here, my brilliant Void realm won't participate in this matter." Aside from the man in black, everyone else had clearly picked a side. Wang Lin's eyes lit up and he clasped his hands at Wang Wei. Junior was reckless. "I'll let Senior decide this matter." Although Wang Wei was not happy about Wang Lin attacking earlier, he nodded when he saw that Wang Lin knew when to stop. His gaze landed on the All-Seer and company and he calmly said, "Good. Let's put aside all personal grievances for now. The last 3 floors are filled with dangers, so please, fellow cultivators, don't hold back. After we transfer to the 7th floor, meet at the center." After Wang Wei finished speaking, the All-Seer and company smiled and nodded. Hu Huan stood up and walked next to the stone tablet. She placed her jade-like hand on the tablet and gently pressed. Purple light came from the tablet and rumbling sounds came from it as if it was shaking. In an instant, a large amount of cracks appeared on the ground and suddenly collapsed, revealing a starry sky. Everyone fell in and disappeared. As for Ju Yi, Wang Wei brought him toward the starry sky-like transfer array. The 7th floor of the Celestial Emperor Cave was very different from the first 6 floors. There were no pavilions, and it was covered in a sea of flames, as if it was its own world. In this not-so-big space, there was an erupting volcano in the center, and it was surrounded by a large amount of black fog. Rumbling sounds came from the volcano and fire occasionally rained down from the sky. The ground seemed to be divided by cracks into countless pieces that floated on the magma. Black gas came out from the cracks and gave off intense heat. Everyone was scattered when they were teleported here. When Wang Lin landed, he immediately looked around and frowned. Wrong. Everything here was completely different from the 7th floor on the map. There was no resemblance at all. Wang Lin's expression was gloomy as he looked ahead and saw Hu Huan about 1,000 feet away. Hu Huan looked around, and there was also confusion in her eyes. When Wang Lin looked at her, Hu Huan also looked at Wang Lin. She had long suspected that Wang Lin had had some fortunate encounter and had become very familiar with this cave. Now that she saw Wang Lin's gaze, she let out a wry smile and shook her head. Wang Lin withdrew his gaze. It seemed Hu Huan's expression wasn't fake and she was also confused about the changes here. The place is completely flat with only the volcano. The entrance to the 8th floor must be in the volcano. Hu Huan's voice spread out and landed in everyone's ears. Master Void was in the distance with a pale face. Even with the fiery light, his face didn't look red at all. His right hand was over his chest and bursts of pain came from it from time to time. There was a strange sword energy there that prevented the wound from healing. All-Seer, Wang Lin, and that sword spirit, I'll remember this. If I don't pay you all back 10 times, number 100 times, then I'll never give up. He gloomily looked around. Damn it. Even the Celestial Emperor Cave is working against me. It unexpectedly has such powerful fire origin energy. I fear that it will benefit that little bastard. Master Void roared in his heart, but then he suddenly realized something and became covered in cold sweat. The drop in cultivation level caused my personality to change. How can I be angered so easily? Master Void took a deep breath as he suppressed the anger in his heart and forced himself to calm down. Wang Wei stepped next to Hu Huan and the two of them turned into two rays of light, heading toward the volcano. At this moment, the All-Seer and company also got up and charged at the volcano. The beautiful woman, the old man on the gourd, and the man in black flew toward the volcano. Master Void coldly stared at Wang Lin and also flew toward the volcano. Wang Lin casually moved forward in the air. He knew his cultivation couldn't match that of the old monsters before him, so would naturally not lead the charge but slowly move forward. Another person also slowed down in the distance, the suspected brilliant Void Saintess. Her beautiful eyes fell on Wang Lin and she stopped as if she was waiting for Wang Lin. Wang Lin's expression was cold. When he saw the girl in pink stop, he simply went around her in an arc. He was unwilling to interact much with her and slowly closed in on the volcano. When the girl in pink saw Wang Lin move around her, she let out a snort and no longer paid him any attention but flew toward the volcano. Seeing the girl in pink leave, Wang Lin's eyes revealed a strange light. Although this place was different from the map, as Wang Lin slowly moved, he saw traces of celestial jade remnants within the cracks. It was obvious that countless years ago, this was the 7th layer of the Celestial Emperor Cave. It was just that some unimaginable thing had happened, causing this place to become a flaming ruin. Looking at the towering volcano, Wang Lin closed his eyes and his divine sense spread out. After a long time, he opened his eyes and was even more confident in his speculation. This volcano didn't appear out of nowhere, it was moved here by someone. The closer he got to it, the more evidence he saw that supported this idea. Wang Lin clearly saw that the rocks around the volcano were completely different from the ground. I guess everyone must have also seen something strange about the volcano. Wang Lin stood at the foot of the volcano and was in no rush to enter. His eyes lit up as he looked around until his gaze fell on the magma flowing out from the crack. The high temperature from the magma didn't make Wang Lin feel discomfort and in fact made him feel very comfortable. Even the origin energy inside his body became more active. The change here benefits me. Wang Lin's right hand reached into the magma in the crack. He immediately felt the endless fire element inside the magma. His right hand was inside the magma, and the heat from it made him very comfortable. His origin energy moved inside his body and formed a vortex. A suction force came from Wang Lin's body and he used his right hand as a bridge. The fire origin energy from the magma suddenly moved and was slowly pulled into Wang Lin's body. I have already learned the first 3 of Celestial Emperor by Fan's 6 spells. However, according to senior brother Qing Shuai, the latter 3 spells contain the true essence of Bai Fan's power, and the first of those 3 is Mountain Crumble. In the Slaughter Domain, I saw Qing Sui use it, and it was very similar to a volcanic eruption. Wang Lin pondered while he absorbed the fire origin energy and looked at the majestic volcano. To Wang Lin's right, the man in black with the hidden black dragon also didn't enter the volcano but sat down and placed his left hand inside the magma in the crack. Like Wang Lin, he was also absorbing the origin energy within the fire. He would sometimes look at Wang Lin with fear and hostility in his eyes. Vermilion bird. If I devour the vermilion bird, will my flame dragon awaken a second time? The fire element origin energy was extremely dense in the 7th floor of the Celestial Emperor Cave. In particular, the magma contained even more. As Wang Lin absorbed large amounts of fire origin energy, it entered his body and wrapped around his origin soul, nourishing his origin soul that had adapted to fire origin energy. A very comfortable feeling emerged in Wang Lin's mind. Although he had devoured a lot of pills on the 6th floor and his injuries had recovered a bit, they were still not completely healed. At this moment, as he absorbed fire origin energy, his injuries began to recover once more. Although it was slow, it gave Wang Lin hope. However, most people had already entered the inner part of the volcano, and Wang Lin let out a sigh. During the 1 month he spent healing, he had asked Wang Wei about the method of curing the 7th heaven poison. However, back in the celestial realm, Wang Wei and Hu Huan rarely came into contact with poison. Although they had heard of the 7th heaven poison and knew a bit about it, they didn't know the specifics. In the end, he still had to place his hope of curing Sichu Nan's poison on Celestial Emperor Qing Lin or Qing Shuang. Knowing that he couldn't stay on the 7th floor for too long, Wang Lin took a deep breath and the origin energy in his body moved even faster. A more powerful suction force came from his hand as he absorbed more fire origin energy before withdrawing his hand. Wang Lin jumped up and entered through the top of the volcano. The moment Wang Lin got up, the man in black also went up and headed to the top of the volcano from another direction. Wang Lin had already noticed that the man in black could also absorb fire origin energy like him. This person also had a mark between their eyebrows, which made Wang Lin vigilant. Wang Lin didn't move very fast and moved up like a gentle breeze. He gradually arrived at the top of the volcano. There was a huge opening at the top of the volcano, and dense, black fog slowly spread out from inside. High temperatures filled the area. Even the rocks near the mouth of the volcano were bright red. It looked very shocking. Floating above the red rocks at the mouth of the volcano, Wang Lin's expression was neutral as the high temperature brought him no discomfort. Looking down, the inside of the mouth of the volcano was shrouded with a fiery glow and a phantom-like black smoke that occasionally could charge out. Without hesitation, Wang Lin stepped out and charged at the volcano's entrance like a meteor. Wang Lin's divine sense spread out around him when he charged in. The black smoke coming from inside the volcano suddenly disappeared. Waves of heat rushed at him. When the heat got near him, all the pores on his body opened up and absorbed the fire origin energy inside the heat. Wang Lin's eyes revealed a strange light and he sank even faster. Behind him, the man in black also descended but kept a certain distance. He didn't want to attract Wang Lin's killing intent for being too close. The man in black had learned that Wang Lin wasn't someone who was easy to deal with during his brief contact with him. Wang Lin was someone decisive and ruthless but also very cunning. Even the likes of Master Void had repeatedly been forced into terrible situations that caused his cultivation level to drop greatly. If anyone changed positions with Wang Lin, they would find it difficult to walk among so many powerhouses. He was even able to borrow pressure from others to suppress the enemy, causing Master Void to end up in a difficult situation. Thinking about this, the man in black felt even more dread, especially when he recalled Wang Lin's gaze and arrogant words before leaving the first floor. The aura Wang Lin had after forcing Master Void away was something the man in black couldn't forget. Moreover, although he could absorb the fire origin energy here, he was still inferior to the vermilion bird that had control over all the fire in the world. I desire to devour this person. Difficult. 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 The man in black sighed to himself. Wang Lin naturally didn't know the man in black's complex thoughts. He moved faster and faster as he constantly absorbed the heat wave coming at him. The deeper he went, the more intense the heat became. The surrounding rocks had countless cracks on them and were no longer red but dark red. This meant that the fire poison here was even stronger. The walls here weren't smooth, and they would often have rocks sticking out. Wang Lin's body flickered and landed on one of those rocks that were sticking out. The rock was dark red, and it released bursts of black gas. The moment Wang Lin stood on the rock, gravel fell off and sank into the volcano. The moment he landed, Wang Lin suddenly inhaled and the powerful heat waves below were all sucked into his mouth. It looked like Wang Lin was devouring a sea of flames. The heat turned into flame essence as it was inhaled into Wang Lin's body. Then he retreated a steps and his face turned red, but his eyes were extremely bright. The origin energy in his body moved like crazy and continued to digest the fire origin energy. After 7 minutes, Wang Lin looked up, let out a cold snort, and descended deeper into the volcano. The moment Wang Lin left, the man in black landed on this rock. There was a trace of terror in his eyes. To devour fire origin energy like this person is a madman. Fire origin energy was the most violent. The man in black knew he wouldn't dare to devour like this, he could only absorb it as if he was guiding it. Wang Lin moved faster and faster. Soon, he arrived at the bottom of the volcano. His gaze pierced the heat waves and smoke below, allowing him to see everything below. The bottom of the volcano was filled with dark red magma. It was a sea of magma. Occasionally, bubbles would swell up, and whenever one burst, an intense heat wave would charge upwards toward the top of the volcano. Black smoke also floated up and was pushed up with the heat wave. There was a palace stuck between the walls of the volcano above the sea of magma. This palace looked exactly the same as the entrance to the next floor in the last 6 floors. However, at this moment, the gate was closed and a complex word was drawn on it with black blood. This extravagant word looked like a tattoo but also didn't. Just looking at it gave off a crazy feeling, as if it could turn the world upside and reverse the heavens. The moment Wang Lin saw the word, his eyes suddenly narrowed. He recognized the word as it was the language that belonged to the ancient god clan. It was also the language of the ancient demon and ancient devil clan. Devil. It was the word devil. At this moment, outside the palace, Wang Wei, Hu Huan, and Bei Lu formed a group and the All-Siren Company formed another. They floated in the air and stared at the gate of the palace. Ling Tianhu, the old man on the gourd, and the beautiful woman were constantly using spells to constantly attack the gate. However, due to the heat, the sounds from the impacts were fragmented. The sounds weren't able to spread far and weren't able to echo. Wang Lin's arrival caused Master Void to raise his head, and a trace of killing intent appeared in his eyes. However, he quickly suppressed it. Wang Lin moved next to Wang Wei and Hu Huan. He looked at the gate and frowned. At this moment, Ling Tianhu let out a roar and the 4 origin swords behind him crashed into the door. The word devil on the door flashed intensely, but it showed no signs of taking any damage. I can't open the seal to enter the 8th floor. Ling Tianhu let out a cold snort and retreated. The beautiful woman and the old man on the gourd also shook their heads and gave up. Wang Wei and Hu Huan also frowned. They had tried it before and couldn't break it either. With this seal here, they wouldn't be able to enter the palace. Wang Lin stared at the word devil on the gate of the palace. He knew that with these old monsters here, there was obviously no need for him to do anything. He sat down on a rock not far away before closing his eyes and beginning to cultivate. Although he was cultivating, he was still on guard. Not far away from Wang Lin, the girl in pink stood on a rock slightly lower than Wang Lin. Countless snowflakes surrounded her, resisting the high temperature. The rock below her feet even showed signs of freezing. Time slowly passed. The man in black that was behind Wang Lin had arrived a long time ago. He cautiously floated on the side and stared at the palace while pondering. The word devil on the palace gate contained an unimaginable sealing force. Almost everyone, including Wang Wei, Hu Huan, the All-Seer, and even Bei Lu, took turns attacking in succession. In the end, both sides attacked at once, and the sounds of the attack unexpectedly broke through the heat waves. The echoes formed caused large amounts of rocks to fall from the volcano. The rumbling sounds echoed even louder as everyone continued to attack. In the end, the sounds merged together and even echoed outside the volcano. If you were outside the volcano, you would be able to hear the muffled rumbles. In the end, with a final attack from Bei Lu, all of the spells gathered into a massive storm that swept toward the palace. There was a heaven-shattering rumble, and the whole volcano seemed to tremble. The magma below raged as if there was an earthquake. The word devil on the palace suddenly collapsed. The gate opened. However, a shocking change occurred the moment the gate opened. The moment the word devil dissipated and the gate opened, the sea of magma below suddenly began to churn violently. Bursts of muffled roars came from the magma and then, with a bang, the magma below charged up into the sky. It was as if an unimaginable force was pushing the magma up. The volcano was erupting. A temperature several times higher than before suddenly emerged when the magma charged up. The intense temperature even caused a lot of the surrounding rocks to immediately fracture. Before they could even fall, they were turned into black gas and pushed up. At this moment, if you looked at the volcano from the outside, you would see that the volcano was trembling and black smoke several times stronger was coming out. Large amounts of black smoke rushed out into the air as if it wanted to cover the entire sky. As the black smoke was sprayed out, it covered the entire sky in almost an instant, not allowing any light to penetrate through. Only the magma between the cracks of the earth glowed, vaguely lighting up the area. The moment the door opened inside the volcano, Bei Lu rushed out into the palace as the magma rushed up. Everyone else regained their senses and followed him. However, everyone's speed was a bit slower, and the monstrous magma rushed up. If this was it, It wouldn't be enough to scare these powerful cultivators. However, as the magma passed by, a giant arm reached out and grabbed the beautiful woman. The beautiful woman exclaimed and wanted to dodge, but she was too slow before the hand. She was shrouded by flames in an instant and was pulled into the magma. This sudden scene shocked the hearts of the surrounding cultivators. However, this wasn't over yet. As the magma rushed out, a roar came out from the magma and echoed around like a sonic boom. This caused the surrounding rocks to collapse even more. As the roar echoed, a purplish-red coffin came out from the raging magma. The roar from the coffin became even stronger. Wang Wei and Hu Huan's expressions changed greatly. The two obviously knew about the coffin. Without hesitation, the two of them each formed a seal and joined the seals together. They became transparent and instantly passed everyone as they charged into the palace. The moment they entered the palace, the coffin collapsed and scattered into countless pieces that fell on everyone. At the same time, a red-robed old man walked out from the coffin. This red-robed old man contained no vitality and was filled with death aura. The moment he appeared, he charged toward everyone. The All-Seer's eyes lit up and his mouth moved as if he was saying something. Then the red-robed old man suddenly stopped. Taking advantage of the red-robed old man's pause, the All-Seer waved his sleeves and charged at the palace. Just at this moment, the red-robed old man's body collapsed and a roar came out from within. Then a sea of flames appeared and turned into a fire dragon that attempted to devour everyone. The expression of the girl in pink surrounded by the snowflakes turned pale as she rushed toward the palace. However, before she could enter, her body turned into a ray of light and was inhaled by the fire dragon. Seeing that everyone was charging toward the palace and not worrying about others, Wang Lin had already left the rock and shot toward the palace. However, just as he was about to enter the palace, Master Void, who was the last person to enter the palace, suddenly turned around and coldly stared at Wang Lin. Before Master Void could attack, the fire dragon arrived. The fire dragon was so big that it could devour the entire palace. Wang Lin felt a powerful suction force, and he was devoured along with the palace by the fire dragon. The fire dragon devoured everything and then charged into the magma. The magma began churning even more violently when the dragon dove into it. The magma continued to surge up faster and faster until it erupted out from the volcano and covered the sky. Then the magma fell as balls of fire onto the ground. Only after a long time did everything end and the volcano stopped erupting, leaving only black smoke coming out. The magma sank back down and the bottom of the volcano became quiet once more. However, the palace was now missing. At this moment, in the deepest part of the magma, the palace devoured by the fire dragon appeared. However, now it was surrounded by magma, so even if you were inside the palace, you could feel the intense heat. Wang Lin's figure appeared in the magma in the distance. The heat coming from the magma not only didn't injure him, it made his injuries even better. The magma was thick, and it surrounded Wang Lin with an indescribable amount of fire origin energy. The vermilion bird tattoo on this body shined brightly and even let out vermilion bird cries. He sat down and gradually sank to the bottom of the magma. He was about 10,000 feet away from the palace. Both of his hands formed a seal and dense fire origin energy entered his body. As he absorbed, his body turned red, and time slowly passed. After an unknown amount of time, Wang Lin opened his eyes. The surroundings were completely quiet. Not only was the origin energy inside his body not restrained, it became even more vigorous. While pondering, Wang Lin didn't immediately leave but continued to cultivate. This was a very precious chance for him. It would be very difficult for him to find another place with such rich fire origin energy. Wang Lin closed his eyes and continued to absorb fire origin energy. Time passed. As Wang Lin absorbed, the amount of magma gradually reduced. During this time, Wang Lin awakened 3 times, and all 3 times were because the intense fluctuations of magma caused the volcano to erupt. Whenever he awakened, he would carefully watch the eruption of the volcano. After the eruption was complete, he would immerse himself in absorbing once more. On this day, Wang Lin awakened for the 4th time. Although the magma still had endless fire origin energy left, Wang Lin no longer dared to continue absorbing. As he absorbed the fire origin energy, He gradually became one with the magma, and he vaguely felt that there was a strange spirit inside the magma. If he absorbed too much, it would be easy to disturb that strange spirit. According to Wang Lin's analysis, that strange spirit should be the fire dragon that devoured everything. While pondering, Wang Lin slowly stood up and walked toward the palace in the magma. However, after a few steps, Wang Lin suddenly stopped as he saw a bubble slowly closing in on the palace. After carefully looking at the bubble, Wang Lin's expression became strange, and at the same time, the cultivators inside it saw Wang Lin. There were two people inside the bubble. They were the girl in pink and the beautiful woman who was devoured by fire dragon. The beautiful woman was unconscious and her whole body glowed red. It seemed like she was on the edge of death. As for the girl in pink, the snowflakes around her had disappeared. There was a snowflake rune flashing between her eyebrows that released bursts of cold energy that allowed her to survive inside the bubble. She immediately saw Wang Lin approaching, and surprise and horror filled her eyes. Although she knew about Wang Lin's vermilion bird awakening, she didn't think that Wang Lin wouldn't be injured at all inside this magma, and he moved as if he was on land. No wonder those people were so terrified of the Four Divine sect. It seems that after the vermilion bird awakened, he unexpectedly gained a terrifying resistance to fire. The girl in pink stared at Wang Lin. She had been stuck in the magma for several months and was unable to move too fast. Fortunately, she was able to find the beautiful middle-aged woman, but she had been unconscious this whole time and her body was filled with a strange flame. The girl wasn't able to awaken the beautiful woman. Although she was able to protect herself from the magma with the treasure her senior sister had given her, moving forward was difficult. It had taken several months for her to find the palace, but she didn't expect to see Wang Lin here. When she saw Wang Lin, the girl in pink felt her heart skip a beat and became anxious. She quickly controlled the bubble and charged straight for the palace. Due to the sudden acceleration, the bubble became unstable and seemed like it could collapse at any time. However, the girl in pink couldn't care about that anymore, and she quickly closed in on the palace. Wang Lin's expression was indifferent as he stepped toward the bubble the girl in pink and the beautiful woman were in. As he quickly closed in, the girl in pink became even more anxious. She didn't know what Wang Lin was thinking, but she knew Wang Lin and the beautiful woman's group had conflict in the past. She thought he was coming here to kill the beautiful woman. When the girl in pink saw that Wang Lin was only few hundred feet away, she quickly shouted, "Wang Lin, you have a feud with Master Void. The two of us has no feud with you." This video will end here.